So here is something that I wanted to bring up as well, right? With Florida and yeah, with Florida and a few law things that are kind of Hananin. Is that the word? Hananin? But yeah, it's too sexy because the games, they have to be fat and ugly.
Yeah.
But then the kid's got to tip the freaking dude in a dress spreading his legs all over the fucking stage. Go on, tip her. Yeah, poor kids. Hey, you, come here. Come here. Now, here is something that I'm going to say my piece on it after we look at all the things. And then I'm going to say my probably hot take. I don't know if it's a hot take, but yeah, First things first, Florida legislator votes to ban gender-affirming care for minors. That's a good thing, right? Yes. I'm going to read the GOP-controlled Florida legislature passed a bill Thursday that bans transgender minors from receiving gender-affirming care, such as puberty blockers, sending to Governor Ron DeSantis as a measure that opponents say will further marginalize vulnerable children. They are vulnerable because you're trying to chop off their shit. The bill, which DeSantis requested, also prohibits universities, local governments, and other agencies that access the state's Medicaid program from using public dollars to cover such treatments for anyone in Florida. And it makes it easier for patients to sue doctors who perform gender-affirming treatment. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, that seems relatively okay, right? Yeah. Then we have this one. Montana governor bans TikTok. Oh my goodness.
Isn't that a good thing?
That's where this is where I'm kind of like, hey, now looking at it this way, right?
Yeah.
Banning TikTok, when you look at it just face value. Why are we banning TikTok? Because China is gathering our information.
Well, they've been doing that for a while now.
So yes, and it's, China is our enemy, so yes, China shouldn't have access to this. But you are setting a precedent to where, let's say the next group of people, who doesn't agree with this person, he's like, hey, well, the previous person did this and he banned an app.
Yeah.
Because he, wanted to say whatever reason.
Question though, how do you ban an app in just a single state?
That's a good question. I have no clue how that shit works. How does, is there internet? Is it the internet connection?
Tommy says attack on First Amendment.
Yes. See, that's where I was going. So when you do this, as I said, you're setting the precedent for anyone to come in and be like, I'm going to ban an app, insert literally whatever reason you want to insert, right? Now, you know how Trump, when he was going to quote unquote ban TikTok, he wasn't banning it. He was removing China's influence from it. And he was like, some American company has to purchase it, and then now it's an American-owned company. Yeah. So even if they do take the information, it's
for foreign malicious.
Yeah, foreign malicious.
It can be used for internal malicious intent, but that's a little more manageable.
Right. So it's kind of like, it's still probably as bad because it's that, but at least China isn't the one getting the information.
Right.
So that way was way better than what this is happening. Now, I mean, of course, I understand what his intention was. Right. But here's how I'm viewing it, right? So, the pendulum swing, douche, douche. This is what they were always talking about with, the whole COVID thing. Yeah. The pendulum swing was in this direction with the Democrats and all of them. They had all the power and they were doing all the bullshit. Now, I guess it's coming back this direction. Now the Republicans are doing all this shit. We're going to ban this. We're going to stop that. We're going to do this. Now, with that bill that I just showed from Ron DeSantis in Florida, what he also did, apparently from what I heard, is that if a parent decides to do whatever the gender stuff with their kid and give them the stuff or, the surgeries or anything, then apparently Florida will take their kid away, which, of course, when you look at it on paper, it's like, oh, yeah, they should take the kid away. But once again, you're allowing that to be the precedent that you're setting that precedent so that if the other people get in charge, they'll be like, oh, well, we'll take your kid away if you don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. And my opinion, right? Okay, first, TikTok, right? I think that, of course, banning it outright in the state, probably really not the best. That's just overboard. But maybe banning it for like, government officials, like people who worked actually for the government, then maybe that would be a little better. But like, apparently he's banned it in the whole state. I still don't understand how that works. Like, it's like the internet service providers in the state, just if they see this IP address or, web address from TikTok, they just like block it or something, or I don't understand how that works. But, I guess.
Yeah, it goes along with like banning things just straight up on the internet.
Yeah, it's like, probably your IP address is in this location, so you can't use it.
I don't know. It's like banning VPNs and having piracy be illegal.
Yeah.
I don't think you don't really see that get enforced.
Right. Like
plenty of people go and pirate games on the internet.
Now think about this, right? Remember that
and they don't really get punished for it. Just for several reasons.
That bill they were trying to introduce, where it was like if you use a VPN to access a thing that is supposed to be illegal, you can get 20 years in prison.
Yeah.
So
a minimum.
What happens if somebody uses a VPN to access TikTok in Montana? I mean, I know that bill. I don't think that bill got passed.
China.
I don't think that bill got passed.
They get shipped to China. That's where your information's going.
Right. Now, with the other thing, though, the Florida one, where they take your kid if you try to do the gender stuff.
Yeah.
Once again, they can take your kid if they do it the other way. And then what's going to happen is that pendulum's going to keep swinging. And every time it swings, it's just going to get worse. Worse. And eventually it's going to get to a point where you have a child, the government's going to immediately take them. You have no right over them at all. And then the government's going to do whatever the fuck they want with the kid. That's kind of what it's going to keep getting worse every single time, because you're just adding on to shit that's already there.
Yeah.
You're not removing anything.
No.
You're just adding on to it forever.
It's getting added on to.
Yeah. So
I think it's ever been removed.
That's kind of my little take on this, because I don't trust the government at all. Even if something looks good in my view, it still is kind of like government. It's always going to end up bad, because there's always going to be somebody that you don't agree with who's going to do something that you aren't going to like. And it's always going to end up in the bad direction. Always. So, I'm just saying. I agree with it in the sense of, yes, it's a good bad, idea.
Like, you opened my eyes. Yeah, but I didn't really give it much thought. But now.
Yeah, you got to have to think of government. Yeah. Do I trust them? No. Okay, so how can this go bad? How can this go bad?
How can the government restrict my freedom using this?
Right? Oh, they can totally just take your child at some point. That's that slippery slope, quote unquote, fallacy that some people like to say it is. No, it's just a slippery slope, and you're going to fall down that bitch. This is a clip from our podcast called The Oreyo Show, which you can watch live on YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. If you would like to watch these clips somewhere other than YouTube, you can also check us out on Odyssey, Rumble, or Player, where you will get more clips that we cannot post on YouTube. If you like what we are doing here, you can support the channel by joining our locals or Subscribe Star. Also, you can join our Discord server and keep in contact with us, as well as send us clips or videos that you would like us to talk about on an upcoming show. And don't forget to check the links down in the description to see what else we have going on. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.